everyone, this is Dawn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this card using the November stamp of the month called You Warm My Heart. So I'm going to use the sentiment, You Warm My Heart, and the coffee cup. And then I'm also going to use this border from Yuletide Borders and some of the papers from Wood Grains and some of the mix-in papers along with some white glitter paper. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to stamp on White Daisy. I'm going to stamp the coffee cup in scarlet ink. So I'm going to ink this up and stamp that down, and I'm going to make a couple cards, so I'm going to stamp it more than once. And then I'm going to be fussy cutting this image out. Okay, so I'll get my stamp cleaned up with my stamp chamois, and then I'm going to stamp the lid with espresso ink. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it one complete image, so I'm stamping this one with the lid right above the cup, and then the next stamp I'm going to stamp it separately, and I decided that I'm going to cut them out in separate pieces to adhere them to my card. So I've kept this in. I've just sped up the video super fast to show my fussy cutting. It's a simple image to cut out quickly. So I'm cutting out the cup, and then I'm going to cut out the lid. And then we'll get ready to start cutting the pieces that we need to assemble the card with. Okay. So I'm going to use espresso cardstock for my card base. And this is going to be a landscape top fold A2 size card. So I'm cutting my paper at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I'm going to cut the wood grain paper. And I wasn't sure which way I wanted the slats to go, but then ultimately I decided to do them vertically. So I'm cutting my paper at 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and then I'm figuring out where exactly I want my sentiment to be stamped, so that's why I cut off that other side so that I could center that slat, or place it so that I could stamp my sentiment in that section. And now I'm cutting off a piece of this mix-in paper, and I want a strip of the Christmas trees to border my cutout. So I'm cutting this at 5 1/2 inches, but I'm also setting it up in my trimmer so that I'm not cutting one of the trees in half. So I trim that at 5 1/2 inches, and now I'm going to bring my Big Shot in and die cut that border piece in scarlet cardstock. And this cuts beautifully. All those pieces just pop out so easy. Okay, so now we've got our die cut done. And I'm just going to place things just to make sure I have room for everything. And then I have this strip of white glitter paper that's going to go underneath that border piece so that the glitter shows through. Okay, so that's kind of how I want everything laid out, and I'm figuring out where my stamp is going to go for my sentiment. Okay, so now I'm going to stamp that in evergreen ink. You warm my heart. So we'll get that down, and then we can start assembling the card. Okay, so I have my card base. And then I'm going to put down the espresso paper, and I'm just using tape runner. Get that down, and then we'll put the wood grain paper on top and layer that so that there's a border of espresso around it. And then I'm just going to start from my sentiment and work my way down as far as my different layers go. So I'll put one border down, and then I'll put my glitter paper down. And then that scarlet border is going to go on top of the glitter paper. So we'll get that down. And usually I would have thought ahead, I should have thought ahead and cut my border out by first adhering the scarlet paper to double-sided tape, but I didn't think of doing that. So I'm using this white Tombow glue. It's a thick, sticky glue, and just hoping that it works. Usually if you use a double-sided tape, it adheres better to the glitter paper, but I didn't think ahead, so I think I'm going to make this work. So then I'm going to adhere that other Christmas tree border on the bottom. So we've got everything down here. And then that scarlet border, it's just a little bit larger than 5.5 inches, so I'm just trimming off those ends. And then I'm going to add my coffee cup with foam tape. I'll pop that on the card there, and then I'll add the lid and pop that as well with foam tape. It's a pretty simple card, but I like it. Okay, and then the last step, I'm going to add some clear gems to the centers of these little cutouts. So all of these supplies are currently available in my online store. You can get the stamp of the month with for $5 with any $50 purchase, or if you're a VIP, you can get it for free with a $50 purchase. And you can go to the URL in the upper right corner of your screen, and I'll make a list of supplies with links in the description below. I appreciate you watching my video today. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.